Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be swapping a cam and springs on Project Dirtbag.
Oh my God.
I got a little excited on Black Friday and picked up this lowbucktruck cam. Came with the springs. I think the whole thing was $260 shipped, which is a lot cheaper than most of the cams are out there these days just by themselves. So I'm going to get these springs swapped out and we're going to slide this in there. Couldn't find my valve spring compressor tool, so I made one. This is the bracket that normally holds on the back of the head or whatever. I just cut it off and notched it and drilled a hole in it, and it's going to do fine for what we need. Got a compression tester, and I'm going to use that to push the valve up each one and, change the springs out. Just a quick note, if you're using one of these compression testers, right, normally it comes on looking like a so. Like this guy right here. A little quick disconnect right there. Takes the gauge off. Now you got just a little spark plug threader guy, an air chuck side. You hook this in there just like it is to your shop air. It's not going to actually provide shop air in there. So you take this little guy apart. Inside here, a little Schrader valve. Unthread that. Take this little dude out. Put this back together. Now that's not going to block the airflow, and it's going to go right in there. You got to take this out to do this job and then put it back when you're done so it can still be a compression tester. Oh, sorry. Ooh. Okay, let's get to what we all wanted to see here. We can do this in the vehicle if you're trying to do this and, not pull the engine. I just happen to have mine out. It's a great thing about not having to take the heads off and doing it the way I did it, because you can do this in the truck, car, go-kart, boat, shower, whatever you're doing. One thing you got to make sure, though, is that your timing is correct. I'm not going to get super technical on it, but I've dirt bagged this quite a few times, and see there's a dot right there and a dot right there, and you kind of show, hard to show with the camera, but pointing into that tooth and pointing into that tooth, or dot to dot, what you want to line up with. Which, if you look at your cam, it's got the little hole that goes, or the little nubby thing that's on the cam goes into the gear indexing pin. So that only goes on there, should only go on there one way to orientate the camshaft. When we get that back in there, we'll line those up. I did also get another cam plate, because one of the little torque scissors booted up. You watch back to one of the previous videos, you can see me having to do some things to get it out. This one's a little wallered out also, so I did get a new cam plate just to make sure that we're sealing up and getting pressure, and that those bolts are new. So we're going to change both those out and get the cam out. Almost forgot the most important part. We're doing this on the with the heads on still. Got to watch out for your lifters falling down out of the trays. Usually they're designed that the lifter sticks up in there in the tray. You just drop on out of there. So you got to make sure that you have a way to keep those up, right? So some guys will recommend 3/8 inch or 5/16 inch dowels. I just happen to have some quarter inch rod I was using on, I don't know, the bumper of the Chevelle or something to make rounded corners. It's going to jam those in the oil holes. All right, next thing we're going to do is rotate this cam a couple times. Make sure that the lifters are all the way up in the bores. It's already wanting to move around, so I believe that they are in the bores. And I'm going to have to turn you a little bit. So I got a long rod. These are going to fit in here with the car right there. Not that end. Be a little easier if your rods weren't like 5 feet long like mine are, but government work. Use the water pump bolts. Oh. I did take my rods out, so we're kind of gambling here. Remember, when you're doing this, don't look at the cam bearings. You will not like what you see. Just smile and wave. Almost forgot one important thing, gentlemen. Don't forget to lube your shaft. Got me some engine assembly lubricant. Yep. I'm in the room. All right, guys, got this back on and torqued. Make sure we're still dot to dot, and then just give her a once around. Make sure that you're still good. Nothing's binding up on you. Still not have the rest of the valve train in, but at least we know that's going to be good. So let's move on. But you get the gist. Next step, put this valve train back together. I kind of started to tighten these down. Got some assembly lube under each of the rockers, at the end of the valve stem tips, and at the end of the push rods, so that's not all dry when it starts up. Ran these down so they're tightish. Spun the motor over so that we're going to start here. This one's on the base circle, and we're going to tighten these down to 22 foot-pounds. And then we're going to rotate the motor around each time until it gets to the base circle and tighten each of these bolts down. Look at those two. As you can see, I was an idiot and already put my damn spark plugs back in. Right there.
Well, here we are, almost 2 weeks later, finally getting back out to this truck. Life, kids, Christmas, sickness, work, all the things happened, excuses. You just walk right on by this thing every day and look at it and go, yep, that's in there, camshaft, but haven't heard it yet. So we're going to get this thing fired up so we can hear what this camshaft sounds like and move on with our lives. Join me. If you're ever wondering what takes so long working on these S10s, this is the kind of crap that gets you. 3 torque converter bolts are supposed to go in here between the flex plate and the torque converter, and I'll be damned if I didn't drop one back in here on the back of the oil pan. I can't see it, so I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but it's in there. Now we're going to use every small thing that I have to try to fit in that hole. Stop, Megan. And we're going to try to get that bolt out. Don't join me. I'll just bring you in when I'm done. So we got the torque converter bolts in. Starting to put the starter in there. Got one side. That was it doesn't want to go in there. Got one side of the bolt. One bolt on one side on. And, for S10 reasons, you can't get a ratchet on there. So, just when you're sitting there with your buddies on a Friday night at 1 in the morning and you're like, hey, look at this S10 I found. I'm going to lsswap this thing. Don't do it. It's annoying. Okay, well, we're here now. I haven't really put everything back the way it should be because, as you know, with this truck, you put it together and have to take it apart 7 more times. So in anticipation of that, this is just thrown together so that I can start it. Did put the battery charger on this because it's been about 75 days since I've done things with the battery. New throttle body is on there. I know that's going to be way off. The bracket's off. It's just kind of sitting here so I can do things. This little guy, it's not supposed to do that, so I'm going to have to tap that. But for right now, I'm going to get a little bit of a vacuum leak here. Probably put my finger over that once I get it to run if I can. I'll turn the key and check the fuel pressure, make sure that the rails are holding pressure. This truck did have the issue with right around these little crimped ends there. It was dripping the fuel. You were on the S10 forums. That was a thing that came up a couple weeks ago. Guy had his truck burned down because the end of these started dripping fuel, and I guess some things happened with that. Had this happen on a couple different vehicles. Normally, I've just caught it quick enough that I've swapped them out. So if you guys see fuel leaking, or you haven't checked yours in a while, check it. Make sure that it's not leaking. It's a dangerous thing. I saw that mine was leaking a little bit. Kept my eye on it while I was doing some running and things, knowing that I'm going to have to get different fuel rails. I've got probably 3 or 4 sets now of different kinds. Just stuff that came with the truck that I can't use, but these are the ones that were leaking. Can't really see. Normally they start, dripping down. You'll see some fluid marks coming down the sides there. But we're going to cut these open once I get this thing fired up, so I can try to figure out why that leaks. Maybe shed some light on that. Kind of see that one, how it started to fluid coming through between where these 2 pieces get pressed together. We're going to investigate on that later. Right now, we're going to see about fuel pressure. Heard the pump click, or the relay click rather. Bunch of air in the lines. I'm going to cycle that again. These lines were probably pretty empty. I had disconnected them and drained them out and all the things. All right. Should be pressure in the line now. Oh yeah. That's fine. That'll catch fire. Now we're going to crank this thing up. All right, so I got something wrong with my wiring I'm too lazy to figure out right now because I want to hear this thing. So I'm going to jump it. Maybe I'm going to jump it. And this might fire off. It might not. Guys, huge milestone accomplished. We got this engine fired up and running. Now we can work on buttoning everything up and getting it to where it should be. Stay tuned and hang in there because the next couple steps we got to do, we're going to get this exhaust on here, get the radiator cooling system installed so we can actually run this thing a little bit, and we're going to dive into tuning with HP tuners. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Action. It's fire. I just wake up and piss excellence, and I want to go fast.
not first, you're last.
I was high when I said that. Did real good. Car ran real good.